Hey guys, let's make this juicy egg growth butter. So we're making our body butter. If you can see from the video, we have like 5 different butters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 different butters we're using to make this particular egg cream. This is just a matter of choice. I just wanted to use 5 butters instead of the normal customary shea butter people use. We have shea butter in this butter here, so I decided to mix it up with 4 different other butters. You can decide to use the normal shea butter if you want. It is a matter of choice because I'm just making this for my personal use. So I'm just going to go and double boil this so that we can melt it and add our other ingredients in this recipe. So this is our body butters after it has fully melted. So now we are going to go ahead and add our other ingredients. I have my notes here so that I do not make any mistake while making this particular recipe. So the very first ingredient we have here is our rosemary, our blended rosemary powder. So I have to grind this. So we're just going to add this into our oil and mix and mix and mix. Then the next ingredient we have here is our moringa powder. So this is our moringa powder. I'm adding everything here, but if you want, you can see I'm not using any measurements. If you want, you can decide to use any measurements of your choice. This is my moringa powder. I'm adding everything and decide to add little by little, because at the end of the day, if this ingredient overpowers the oil, I can decide just to add just ordinary butters to mix it up. That is one of the advantages of this oil. Then the next ingredient we have here is our clove powder. So this is my clove powder. You just need little ingredients of your clove powder. So this is like 25 grams, I think. Yes, the others are like 50 grams. So I'm just using this clove powder in my recipe. Then I'm going to mix properly. Then another ingredient we have here is our sulfur powder. So for my sulfur, because I make skincare ingredients, I have a lot of it, so I'm not going to use lots of it. I'm just going to add in a little bits of my sulfur powder in this particular recipe. So as you're adding each ingredients, make sure you're mixing fully so that everything is fully incorporated in your recipe. Then the next ingredient we have is our ginger powder. So this is my ginger powder. I'm adding everything in this recipe. So like I said earlier on, any ingredient you add, you mix so that everything can fully incorporate into each other, and this way we won't have clumps in our recipe. Then another ingredient we have here. So basically this is all our powdered ingredients. The only ingredient remaining here is our neem. So for your neem, you can decide to add your neem powder or your neem oil depending on what you want. So for me, I am adding my neem powder. You can decide to use the neem oil. It's going to work the same way. So aside from the cloves powder, most of this powder are give or take around 50 grams. And decide to use any amount of your choice. So after mixing this, we're going to go in with our oil. So the oils I have here, I have my olive oil here, my avocado oil, and also my castor oil. I just decided to mix the 3 oils. You can use any one of these oil, but I decided to use these 3 oils because they are very good for your hair health and they are quite moisturizing. You can even use these oils on your body too. That is how good they actually are. But I'm using this strictly for my hair for now. So just mix everything together. Then the next ingredients we have here, you can decide to use your menthol. I wanted to get the menthol cubes, but I couldn't get them at the market, so I decided to use my mint oil, your peppermint oil. I'm using 50 ml here. Like I said, there is no strict measurements to this particular recipe. You can use any measurements of your choice. So after using my mint oil, I'm going to go in with my batana oil. So your batana oil is very, very good for your hair growth. You can decide to read up on this. Very, very good. So I'm not using all of this. I have this in 100 ml here. I'm just using just a little bit, or let me say half of this oil. I'm going to keep the rest for future use. Then I have my lavender essential oil. You can decide to use your lavender, tea tree, rosemary, any essential oil of your choice, but I have a lavender at hand here. Reason why I'm using this. Then I have my fragrance. This is my buttermilk fragrance. You can decide to skip it or use any fragrance of your choice. It is a matter of choice. Let me just use oil because honestly most of these powders, their aroma are quite overwhelming. Then I have my vitamin E oil here. This is strictly by choice. You can decide to use this or not, but I just love using this. Like I said, I am a formulator. Maybe that is the reason why I love using this most of the time. So we're just going to add a little bit of our vitamin E oil here. Then we have our tea tree oil. I'm also going to be using a little bit of this in this particular recipe. So guys, this is basically our hair growth oil. So we are just going to leave this. I'm going to put this in the freezer for it to cool down before we still blend. If you don't have a freezer, you can just easily keep it aside till it hardens and you can blend. So we're going to leave this and come back when it has hardened up. So guys, this is what our end product looks like, and we're just going to blend. This is my blending machine or mixing machine. So for the sake of skills, I'm going to be putting it in a bigger bowl so that it doesn't split everywhere. So after after blending for a while, everything is not going to fully incorporate. This is what it's going to look like. So we just have to put this aside. Then let me bring this out so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. So let's move this to the side. You can see from the bottom it is not fully mixed. So you just need to go in and mix with your spatula before still blending again. So at times when I have a very large batch like this, I just separate into 2 different bowls so that I can get to the bottom of the butter. This is not fully blended, so we're still coming back to this. So what we need to do is just go back to this one all over again so that we can fully blend. So if you can see from the consistency of this one and this one, they are quite different because most of the ingredients will settle down when you leave it to adding up. But if you're making a small batch, you're good to go, you're not going to have this issue. But if you're making a very big batch, you just need to still blend bit by bit, then still blend everything together till it is fully incorporated. So we just need to go back into this again and mix because your hand mixer or your hand blender only is not going to do it. You can see we have a concentration of the ingredients here. Here's the reason why you need to mix or blend this properly. So we're going to blend this again. So you can see we blend everything here. So I'm just going to mix it here so that we can still blend properly all over again. So we're just going to focus to blend everything now. So as you can see, our hair butter is now ready to use. So if you're okay with this consistency or texture, you're good to go this way. But if you're not, if you want it to be a bit more solid, you can add more butter, probably your shea butter because it is a very hard butter. Then if you want the consistency to be a bit more running, you can add your carrier oils or your soft oils, and you're good to go.